Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, I just wanted to cover this. It's definitely related to all the other stuff that I cover. And this comes from the Psychiatric Times. You guys know what's up. And interestingly enough, it's in a psychiatric magazine. Dated August 24th, 2022. False allegations of sexual abuse. You know they gotta save themselves, right? August 24th, 2022, by Alan D. Blochke, Ph.D. Here's how to distinguish false allegations of sexual abuse. We're talking about sexual abuse of children, I believe. Yep. It's easy to verify it. I can't get into it here. Commentary forensic practice. All allegations of sexual abuse by children must be taken seriously. Data suggests that the overwhelming majority of children's allegations are legitimate and true. I want to see if they talk about the false memory syndrome. But in certain situations and circumstances, a child may lie and make up false allegations of abuse. Okay, this does make sense. This phenomenon is seen most commonly in child custody cases and in criminal cases. As a clinical and forensic psychologist, I am often enlisted to help a parent prove his or her innocence in a sexual abuse case. My task in these instances is to try to understand why a child would fabricate a story of sexual abuse against his or her close family member. Based on my experience, here are some of the reasons children lie. By the way, if the child is going into great detail, that's not a lie. I knew this was going to irritate me. I knew it. I knew this was going to irritate me. I don't agree with what this person's saying. 1, children sometimes make up allegations of sexual abuse because they are looking for attention. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. At all. I mean, like, if the other spouse is coaching them to do it, or a family member is coaching, that I might believe, but they don't do it just to get attention. And that makes me sick that they would even say that. When children feel neglected by their parents, they may be inclined to fabricate a story. I want to go into it, but I can't here. I want to so bad. You guys know who's infiltrated the psychology and universities, right? They may be inclined to fabricate a story of sexual abuse because they know it will bring them attention. This is just making me sick. They're trying to cover their tracks. I'm just going to pass that because that's just on my nerves. Honestly, I thought that this was going to be more about false memory syndrome. This whole thing's getting me irritated. You guys know who write these articles, right? I do believe that it does sometimes happen. I do. But I don't agree with what this person's saying. You know, like, One day, like a 4 or 5 year old just decides to just jump out of their bed and say, "Oh, I was sexually abused." One, they have no reference for it. And how would they? They don't even know what it means. You know, it's really sickening that grown adults are talking like this about children in psychiatric times. Okay, this one I do believe. 4. In contentious child custody cases, a child may fabricate a story of sexual abuse against one parent at the encouragement of the other parent. I agree with that. Who wishes to gain leverage in the legal proceeding. Children and teens are especially susceptible to suggestions, manipulation, brainwashing, and coaching by a parent. Oh my God, you guys. I didn't know I was going to get this irritated. The fact that this is even in print or out there makes me want to barf. Now, mind you, we're talking about children here. Listen to this. You know who's doing this, right? I can't go into it. Some children make up a story of sexual abuse against a parent. Listen to this. They're talking about children. To explain away their own sexual misbehavior. So wait a minute. You see what they're doing? They're trying to normalize that children are sexual. They're not. They're not. Their own sexual misbehavior or other inappropriate actions. Children do what they're taught. They do what they learn from others. They don't just come up with this on their own. This is honestly, if anybody would believe this, they've got to be a moron. For example, a child might accuse a parent, child, of sexual abuse who has recently discovered that the child has been sneaking out of the house to have sex. I mean, listen to how stupid that sounds. It just sounds ignorant. This is why, you know what? There are some things that I do agree with Scientology. I do believe in getting mental health help, but this kind of crap, how do you think social engineering can come about? Just keep them out of the business. Here we go, finally. The very bottom of the article, and we talk about forensic evidence. It's easy. It's so freaking easy to do this. And I don't want to get into graphic details on here. You guys know. Oh, not forensic interview, but you guys, what I'm trying to say is a biological exam. That's what I'm trying to say. That solves it right there. And the fact that they're even making this an article kind of irritates me. I thought it was going to be, again, more about the false memory syndrome. All they talk about is divorce, divorce, divorce. And weirdly enough, well, not weirdly, because you know what's up, they don't bring up anything about having a physical exam. Isn't that amazing? Listen, oh, this just enrages me. I don't know if I can read all this. 6, if the child or a member of the family has a history of making previous similar allegations. You mean a child that's been multiply abused by adults? It's exactly what they're saying. Some children, especially younger ones, will believe sexual abuse happened to them if they are repeatedly asked leading questions by a parent, investigator, or evaluator. That I agree with that one. Children want to please authority figures and will take their cues from them. In such circumstances, very young children have a difficult time distinguishing fact from fantasy. By the way, they use that as a defense. The pedos. What they're doing is they're minimizing what parents notice in their children. They're minimizing the things that the children say. And yes, they can be coached. I just can't read all this. It's going to make me freaking lose it again. So anyways, if you guys want to waste, 5 minutes of your life, I'll put the link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.